We're on, Mr. Warden.
Okay, so good morning, everyone, and welcome to our quick little meeting this morning. Call the meeting to order by resolution.
It's moved by Councillor Lang, seconded by Councillor Williams, that the special meeting of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry be hereby called to order.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Madam Clerk.
It's moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Lang, that Council approve the agenda.
All those in favor of the agenda? Motion is carried. None opposed. Madam Clerk.
Yep, through you, Mr. Warden. Number 3 is disclosure of pecuniary interest.
Oh, sorry, I don't have it. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest, general nature thereof? Seeing none.
Okay, and then it's over to agenda items. I'll read the resolution for the one item, the 2024 concrete box culvert pre-purchase re-award. It's moved by Councillor St. Pierre, seconded by Councillor Fraser, that the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry withdraw prior acceptance of tender for the 2024 box culvert pre-purchase from Omni Precast, and that Council accept the tender from Power Precast Solutions for the purchase of 2 precast concrete structures at their total price of $410,180.46 plus HST, and that the Manager of Infrastructure be authorized to sign all necessary documents to give effect to the contract.
Okay, thank you. And who's speaking to it?
I will be.
Welcome, Mike.
Good morning, Warden, and thank you, councillors, for coming in this morning. So the 2024 concrete box culvert pre-purchase was awarded in May of this year to Omni Precast. The 2 box culverts at the end of life that the county are working to replace is the Wirt municipal drain culvert on County Road 15 south of Avonmore, and the Crooks McLeod culvert east of Dalkeith. And both locations were on our 2024 road tour this year that staff showed off to council. On Monday, Omni provided us with notice that they would be unable to fulfill the obligations of the contract. So staff were working earlier this week. There was a flurry of phone calls and emails to find out what was going on and what we could do about it. So we spoke with Omni and confirmed that partial fulfillment of the contract would come at a greater cost to the county than an all or nothing approach. And we worked with Omni to discuss any other options that we might have. Ultimately, we couldn't come up with anything that was favorable to both parties or ideal to both parties. That is, we were able to confirm that the number 2 bidder had the availability and the means to complete the contract. So with Omni, the discussion ultimately came to agreeing that it was in both parties' best interests to terminate the contract. And the county, of course, we need to impose the terms of our purchasing policy, but that is about as good as it's going to get for everybody. And the number 2 bidder is kind of waiting on the sidelines for the go-ahead to start the fabrication process. The county needs to move forward with this in order to essentially salvage the 2024 construction season and get both of these box culverts replaced before the snow flies. So we are recommending the withdrawal of the approval to Omni and the award to Power Precast as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Questions or comments? Go ahead. Councillor Gaydon.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you, what were the price difference between the first successful bid and the new contract?
So the total price difference between the 2 bidders was $5,500, and so the county will have to pay that in addition to what we were expecting to pay to get the 2 box culverts produced. Any discussion of partial payment, I can't discuss the exact prices without disclosing confidential unit rates by the fabricators, but any partial completion by Omni of 1 box culvert and completion of the second box culvert by the number 2 bidder, for example, we would be looking at tens of thousands of dollars more in cost to the county.
Oh, you're muted, Mr. Warden.
I thought you guys liked that. Councillor Landry.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Warden. So, Mike, is there, maybe pardon my ignorance on this, but with this process, do we have any kind of percentage bond or something that is set aside? And then is there opportunities to, with certain issues that we're incurring now, that we can regain that, or is that not part of any kind of process when they put in a tender price?
We didn't request any bid deposit on this contract, and it's my understanding that when we are kind of going out to buy something, that isn't the process. It's when we have contractors mobilized to a site and working on a piece of asset. That's when we would require deposits and securities and those sorts of things. But when we're buying an object for them to deliver to us complete, that we don't have that kind of a security in place.
No, that explains it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Fraser.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I'm just wondering, Mr. Jans, I understand that there's a penalty of not being able to submit tenders for the next 3 years. Is that outlined early in the tender package? Is everyone aware of that, or is that something we can do after the fact? And are we going to? I think that's an appropriate way, as seeing as how we can't really do financial penalties. I'm guessing we can't, but is that a standard practice for us?
Upon receiving notice of their intent to withdraw from the contract, sort of their disclosure that they'd be unable to complete the contract, that was one of the first things that we brought to their attention. And so they are well aware of that restriction, and we have already provided them essentially notice that withdrawal means that they will be restricted for 3 years, and they have accepted that term.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. And I believe that's it, Kimberly?
Yep,
Just,
through you, Mr. Warden, just a couple more motions. Ratification bylaw. It's moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Williams, that bylaw number 5456, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
all those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. And Madam Clerk.
Our adjournment. It's moved by Councillor Guédon, seconded by Councillor Landry, that council adjourn to the call of the chair.
All those in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Mike, for getting this back on the rails. So everyone have a great